Well, this shooting happened in the early hours of Sunday morning outside a banquet hall that is being reported that was rented out for a rap concert. What we do know is that 3 men pulled up in a white SUV, walked out of that vehicle with a mixture of assault rifles and pistols and indiscriminately shot into the crowd that was gathered outside that concert hall, killing 2 people and injuring at least 20. There are some reports saying that 25 people were injured, at least one of those critically. Some of those people that were injured drove themselves to local hospitals across the city, but the chief of police saying he thinks this was a targeted, cold-blooded shooting.
Tonight, dive teams searching for the victims of a deadly plane crash, including a prominent church leader and a 90s TV actor. The plane, carrying 7 people, slamming into a Nashville lake.
Our efforts have transitioned from a rescue effort to that of a recovery effort at this time.
Investigators say the plane crashed shortly after takeoff Saturday morning on its way to Florida.
We just lost communication with the citation at Port of Smyrna.
ABC News learning more about the victims.
So that's not why I'm questioning you.
Including 58-year-old Joe Lara, who played Tarzan on television, and his wife, Gwen Lara, a renowned religious diet guru interviewed on 2020 decades ago. All were members of the Remnant Fellowship Church in Tennessee.
North Korea's state media on Monday slammed the termination of an agreement between the U.S. and South Korea that limited South Korea's missile range. Korea's official KCNA news agency quoted an article written by described international affairs critic Kim Myong-chol, accusing the U.S. of shameful double-dealing. The pact limited the development of South Korea's ballistic missile program to a range of 500 miles. South Korean President Moon Jae-in announced an end to that deal after his first summit with U.S. President Joe Biden earlier this month. Kim criticized Moon for welcoming the agreement's dissolution. He said, quote, "The termination is a stark reminder of the U.S.'s hostile policy toward the Democratic People's Republic of Korea and its shameful double-dealing." He said Pyongyang will counter the move.
Benjamin Netanyahu's long-time leadership of Israel could be about to end. In the last hour, right-wing leader Naftali Bennett said he's joining a coalition with the main centrist leader Yair Lapid. After 4 inconclusive elections in 2 years, the final deadline is coming up on Wednesday to make the coalition deal a reality.
The long reign of Benjamin Netanyahu may now be very close to an end, and it's certainly looking that way after Naftali Bennett, a right-wing politician, said he was going to join a coalition that has been formed by the centre-left politician Yair Lapid. The 2 men have come to a deal, and the deal, many thought of this coalition depended on Mr. Bennett being the kingmaker, but it looks like the deal actually also involves him becoming initially at least the king, because under the deal Mr. Bennett will be the first Prime Minister and then it will rotate to Mr. Lapid at a later stage.
Israel's Foreign Minister Gabi Ashkenazi and his Egyptian counterpart Sameh Shoukry met in Cairo in what was the first public visit by an Israeli foreign minister in 13 years. Top of their agenda, reconstruction efforts in the Gaza Strip, building on the current ceasefire and getting the Mideast peace process back on track. Israel, among other things, raised the issue of the release of Israeli soldiers and civilians held by Hamas. Egypt urged both sides to refrain from any measures that could hinder peace efforts. Diplomacy was in action at the same time in Jerusalem, where the head of Egyptian intelligence, Abbas Kamel, met the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He also met the Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas in Ramallah in the West Bank.
Denel employees feel let down by management and the shareholder. Many have earned very little, despite reporting to work every day. According to trade union NUMSA, 2 employees have taken their own lives. Some opted to resign and cash in on their pensions to protect their homes and livelihoods.
In some months, we get zero payment. We get a R0 value. This year was very bad. In January, we received 0%. In April, we received a few percent, and where we stand today, we haven't received any payment yet for May.
A Zimbabwean traditional chief has ordered former First Lady Grace Mugabe to exhume the body of late former President Robert Mugabe for reburial at the National Heroes Acre in Harare. On Monday, the traditional court found her guilty of breaking with tradition when she buried him in Kutama, where his late mother is being laid to rest. She's been fined 5 cows and 2 goats for the violation.
The American-born action movie actor Steven Seagal has joined the pro-Kremlin political party in Russia. Steven Seagal is a long-time admirer of Russian President Vladimir Putin. He has joined this pro-Kremlin political party in hopes of cracking down on businesses that harm the environment. A video released by the party reveals that Seagal received a party membership card of an alliance named Just Russia Patriots for Truth. The party was formed earlier this year when 3 leftist parties had merged into one party in support of Putin. The party controls a faction in the lower house of the Russian parliament and plans to take part in parliamentary election in September this year. Now, Seagal is a US-born martial artist. He is best known for producing and starring in action movies. President Putin granted him the citizenship, reportedly because he is a fan of martial arts.
An investigation by multiple European media outlets has alleged that Danish intelligence helped the US spy on its European allies between 2012 and 2014. According to the report, officials from France, Norway, Sweden and Germany were targeted, including Chancellor Angela Merkel and her then opponent Pia Steinbrück. The report says that the US had tapped into undersea internet cables by taking advantage of a surveillance collaboration with the Danish government. Calls, texts, internet searches and chats were all accessible, something the Danish government has been aware of since a 2015 report, but failed to tell its neighbours. The allegations were brought forward to several news outlets by 9 unnamed sources within the Secret Service, and they aren't the first to detail how Danish intelligence helped the NSA spy.